Brain fog so thick I once tried to unlock my apartment with my car key. Seriously, I stood there for a good 30 seconds, fumbling with the wrong metal, utterly convinced my key wasn't working. It was embarrassing, frustrating, and frankly a little scary. Fast forward 10 weeks, and I'm not just remembering where I put my actual keys. I'm recalling passwords I didn't even know I knew, details from conversations months ago, and even the plots of last night's dreams. The only thing I changed? I ditched every last gram of added sugar. No replacements, no cheats, no monk fruit hacks, just cold turkey zero. If you can sit through the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through the withdrawal meltdown that almost broke me, the surprising science that finally clicked, and the 5 mental upgrades that showed up after the fog lifted, making me feel like I got my brain back, and then some. Look, I'm not a doctor. I'm a graphic designer, which means my pre-sugar-free life was basically a high-wire act, fueled by endless cold brew and an unholy alliance with gummy worms. My days were a predictable cycle of chaos, a 3 p.m. crash so hard my face would literally hit the keyboard mid-sentence, leaving an imprint on my cheek. My short-term memory. More holes than a block of Swiss cheese, constantly losing track of tabs, thoughts, and sometimes even my train of conversation. And my mood? It swung wider than a playground swing set, from buzzing anxiety to inexplicable irritability, all within a single afternoon. When I complained, doctors offered the usual well-meaning but ultimately unhelpful advice. Sleep more, stress less. And I just think, cool, but how exactly do I stress less when I can't even remember what I was supposed to be doing 5 minutes ago? Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And at the end of the video, if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up and maybe even a comment. Let us know what part of the world you are from. Any support for the channel helps us grow and continue to make more of these cool videos. Cutting added sugar wasn't my first rodeo, believe me. I tried everything from just cutting back to only natural sugars, but nothing ever stuck. This time felt different. This time I went all in. 10 weeks, no added sugar, and everything from my focus to my REM sleep felt like it got an over-the-air update. It wasn't just about feeling better, it was about feeling sharp again, like my brain finally rebooted. Let's be clear, brain fog isn't some fancy official diagnosis you get from a doctor. It's that gnawing, day-to-day symptom buffet we all recognize. The slow processing that makes simple tasks feel monumental. The constant word loss where the perfect adjective just vanishes, and a mental fatigue so deep that 8 espressos can't even touch it. It's like trying to think through a thick, syrupy haze. So, where does sugar enter this messy picture? It steps onto the stage by spiking your blood glucose. Now your brain loves glucose. It actually uses about half your body's daily supply of it. It's essential fuel. But here's the kicker. Your brain absolutely hates roller coaster rides. Each time you guzzle that sugary drink or munch on that processed snack, your blood sugar surges. Your pancreas, in a frantic effort to restore order, carpet bombs your system with insulin. This brings blood sugar plummeting down, often too low. And when your blood sugar drops, your neurons, those precious brain cells, literally start to starve. That's when you're left staring blankly at an open browser tab, wondering what on earth you meant to type, or why you even opened it in the first place. Repeat that wild ride hourly, day in and day out, and you're not just looking at a momentary lapse. You're setting the stage for chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, which is a huge deal for your brain, by the way, and a hippocampus that can't file new memories to save its life. Think of your hippocampus as your brain's filing cabinet. Chronic sugar abuse basically jams the drawers shut. This constant fluctuation, this metabolic stress, isn't just uncomfortable. It's actively damaging, impairing your brain's ability to communicate, store information, and maintain clarity. It's a key reason why high sugar intake is consistently linked to poorer cognitive performance and even accelerated cognitive aging in studies. The moment of truth hit me one Thursday afternoon. I was on a client call presenting some pretty important concepts, and suddenly I completely forgot my own zip code. My own zip code. I fumbled, laughed it off awkwardly, but inside I was mortified. That was it. That was the line in the sand. I couldn't keep living like this, feeling like my brain was slowly leaking out my ears. Desperate for answers beyond sleep more, I hunted through PubMed, the medical research database. I wasn't looking for a magic pill, I was looking for why. And that's where I found a jaw-dropping 2023 paper linking even mild high normal glucose levels to accelerated cognitive aging. It wasn't just about diabetes. It was about the subtle, insidious damage sugar was doing, even if you weren't sick. It was a light bulb moment. I decided right then and there to starve the problem instead of just medicating the symptoms. Added sugar, out every single gram. But I wasn't going crazy. Natural fruit was still in, and this was a crucial distinction. Why? Because fiber slows absorption enough to keep your blood sugar from spiking. This means your brain's fertilizer. Things like dopamine for motivation and BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, for growing new brain cells, doesn't tank. It's about stable energy, not a sugar rush and crash. 10 weeks felt like a long enough stretch to see some measurable, undeniable change, but short enough that I wouldn't bail out in despair. It was a commitment I felt I could actually keep. Oh, those first 10 days. I call them Mount Withdrawal, and it was a brutal climb. The headaches were relentless, a dull throb behind my eyes that painkillers barely touched. Night sweats left me waking up in a clammy mess, even though my room was cool. But the cravings? The cravings were cinematic. I almost licked a ketchup packet at one point, just for the ghost of sweetness. My brain, it turns out, was throwing an advanced grief seminar complete with dramatic tantrums. Why? Because sugar lights up the same reward circuitry in your brain that cocaine targets. Take it away, and your brain feels like it's lost its best friend, screaming for that dopamine hit. I white-knuckled through it. My survival kit included sparkling water with lime, unsalted pistachios, and a stern internal monologue. I reminded myself why I was doing this over and over again. By day 7, something incredible happened. The dreaded 2 p.m. crash, that soul-crushing slump that used to send me scrambling for chocolate, simply evaporated. It vanished. It turns out, when your blood sugar isn't playing seesaw all day, you don't actually need a Snickers to keep your eyes open. It was the first real sign that this wasn't just deprivation, it was liberation. So, what's actually happening behind the scenes, beyond the cravings and the headaches? Let's take a quick backstage tour of your brain. When you consume excess sugar, it doesn't just pass through, it actually gloms onto proteins in your body, forming something called AGEs, advanced glycation. End products. Think of them as microscopic caramel, literally gluing your neurons together, making them stiff and sluggish. These AGEs don't just sit there, they crank up oxidative stress, which is like rusting your brain cells, and they stall synaptic plasticity, which is your brain's ability to adapt and form new connections. Essentially, they gum up the works, making it harder for your brain to think, learn, and remember. But here's the good news. Cut out the added sugar and your body starts to heal. Your insulin sensitivity, which is how well your cells respond to insulin, rebounds within days. Inflammation markers, those indicators of systemic stress, drop within weeks. And that BDNF I mentioned earlier, your brain's natural fertilizer? It starts sprouting new connections like spring grass after a long winter rain. The scientific translation of all this? Clearer thoughts, faster recall, and mood swings that are finally on mute. Your brain starts repairing itself, optimizing its energy use and building stronger, more efficient pathways. There were 5 clear-cut benefits. The changes weren't subtle, they were profound, and they felt like superpowers. Number 1 is focus. Depth first. Before, coding for an hour felt like a marathon. My attention would wander, I'd open a new tab for quick research and end up watching cat videos. Now, I can code for 3 straight hours, diving deep into complex problems without checking memes, without losing my place, without that annoying mental drift. It's like my brain has an impenetrable shield against distractions. Number 2 is morning memory. Jumpstart. This one still weirds me out in the best way. I now wake up remembering entire dream plots, vivid, detailed narratives, sometimes even full conversations. Trust me, it's a weird superpower. My brain feels like it's been defragmented overnight, ready to recall information the moment I open my eyes, not half an hour later, after 3 cups of coffee. Number 3 is mood flattener. My anxiety spikes, which I diligently tracked in an app, dropped by a staggering 40%. No more sugar crashes meant no more cortisol fireworks. No more feeling like I was constantly on edge. My baseline mood became calm, steady, and resilient. It wasn't about being artificially happy. It was about removing the artificial stressors that were making me miserable. Number 4 is creative output. As a graphic designer, creativity is my currency. Before, client revisions felt like a personal attack, often because I'd missed a detail or my focus had been too scattered during the initial brief. Now, those revisions dropped by half. My attention to detail sharpened, my problem-solving became more fluid, and my creative solutions felt genuinely inspired, not just forced. Number 5 is sleep latency. Fell dramatically. This was an unexpected gift. Sleep latency, the time it takes to fall asleep, plummeted from 45 minutes of restless tossing and turning to a light 8 minutes. It turns out when your brain isn't constantly trying to regulate high nocturnal glucose levels, it can actually rest. Low, stable glucose throughout the night keeps your brain from conducting a 2 a.m. orchestra of metabolic activity, allowing for deeper, more restorative sleep. Okay, so you're thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? It's simpler than you think, but it requires commitment. Here are some actionable steps based on my journey. Number 1 on this list is to audit labels like a detective. This is step 1 for a reason. Anything ending in OSE, fructose, glucose, dextrose, or hiding under innocent-sounding names like evaporated cane juice, malt syrup, or corn sweetener is dead to you for 10 weeks. Sugar is a master of disguise. Read every label every single time. You'll be shocked where it lurks, even in things you wouldn't expect, like bread, yogurt, and salad dressing. Number 2 is replace, don't restrict. Initially. This isn't about deprivation, it's about smart substitutions. Berries, dates, and stone fruit are your friends. They offer natural sweetness along with crucial fiber, which slows down sugar absorption and prevents those dreaded blood sugar spikes. Crucially, chew them, don't juice them. Juicing strips away that vital fiber, turning a healthy fruit into a sugar shot. Number 3 is to plan a salt lick moment. When cravings hit, and they will hit, don't reach for a cookie. Instead, grab a glass of water with a pinch of good quality sea salt and a squeeze of fresh lime juice. This isn't just a trick, it actually helps. Often, what feels like a sugar craving is actually your body signaling a need for electrolytes and hydration, especially during withdrawal. Sodium helps stare down that sugar height. Number 4 is very important. Move your body right after meals. This is a game changer for blood sugar stability. Even a brisk 10-15 minute walk after eating can make a massive difference. Why? Muscle contractions shuttle glucose into your cells much faster than insulin on rollerblades, preventing those post-meal spikes and subsequent crashes. It's a simple, powerful way to keep your blood sugar smooth. Last but not least, track something. Anything. Motivation can wane, especially when the scale isn't budging. That's why data is your secret weapon. Track your mood, your words per minute typed, your sleep quality, your energy levels, whatever resonates with you. Seeing tangible improvements, even small ones, keeps motivation alive and proves to yourself that this effort is actually working. Let's be honest, no journey is perfect. Week 0, before I even officially started, I made a classic rookie mistake. I ate an entire box of sugar-free cookies thinking I was being smart. The next morning, I still felt drunk, groggy, and utterly miserable. Why? Maltitol. It's a sugar alcohol, a wolf in sheep's clothing that can wreak havoc on your gut and still impact blood sugar. Lesson learned. Sugar-free doesn't automatically mean healthy or brain-friendly. And those hidden sugars, they are everywhere. Protein bars, seemingly healthy sauces, even oat milks, they're all sugar minefields. If your grandmother couldn't pronounce the ingredient on the label, or it sounds like something from a chemistry lab, just moonwalk away. It's usually a highly processed sweetener designed to trick your taste buds. Also, a word of caution on caffeine. It amplifies withdrawal headaches like nobody's business. If you're a heavy coffee drinker, sip. Don't shotgun your morning brew, especially in those first few days. Gradually reduce your intake if you can, or at least be prepared for the extra head throb. So, am I 100% sugar-free forever? No, that's not my goal. I'm staying 90% sugar-free now, which feels sustainable and realistic. Birthdays happen, weddings happen, holidays happen, life happens. But now I treat sugar like gluten for someone with celiac disease. Tiny, intentional doses, savored and appreciated, never mindless grazing. It's not about orthorexia, an unhealthy obsession with perfect eating. It's about owning your default settings. My brain finally runs on a steady, consistent glucose drip from wholesome foods like chickpeas and apples instead of the erratic, Skittles-induced lightning bolts that used to define my days. This stable glucose supply is what keeps my brain functioning optimally, preventing the crashes and fogs that once plagued me. It's a fundamental shift in how my body and brain operate, and it's a difference I feel every single day. If you learned something today, please hit that subscribe button and share this with the most sugar-addicted person you love, because brain fog is optional. Seriously, it doesn't have to be your normal. Catch you in the next one where I test whether quitting seed oils moves the needle even more.